Newman.
Diane?
Cameron.
Here.
Ronstrow.
Here.
Mylum.
Here.
Cook.
And Newman's here too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he didn't even call you.
No, I said Newman.
Did you? I didn't
Yeah,
hear
I
you.
heard him. It was kind of muffled.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think your volume may be
Okay. How's that, better?
perfect.
Yeah, that's
And you're recording, correct?
I'm sorry?
Recording?
I am recording, yes.
All right, let's go through the agenda. 2 minutes? Bills? Anyone have any questions on the bills?
I did not, as I went through. I'll take it since.
Hey, Sean, do you have the other little speaker? Where's that? Okay, right there.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah. So Newman had the minutes?
No, Milo.
Milo.
Mylum, I'm sorry.
I'll take the bills as well since I'm custodian already.
Okay, Milo on the bills. Are there questions?
You don't have any, you have to go through them. I have no questions, Madam President.
All right.
And again, who has the bills?
Milo,
Mylum has both, 1 and 2?
correct.
Thank you.
Start using sign language.
The Tonawanda Housing Authority, the 3% raise,
I'll take that. Madam
Mr.
President.
Armstrong. Sean took resolution 3.
Got it.
Kiwanis Club Chicken Barbecue,
I'll take that one, Madam President.
Mr. Newman.
How did that go?
Mr. Newman took resolution 4.
Got it.
All right, the local law,
I'll take that, Madam President.
Mr. Armstrong. Questions, comments? Okay. Do we want to do council on this?
On number 6?
Yeah, we discussed it at our last meeting. This is the proposal from the city clerk.
Increase liability on their
About
insurance.
the file.
Yeah.
Council, we're good?
Yes.
All right. The change order, I think, did we, Sean, did you want it, or did we decide council, what do we do?
I can take that.
All right, Sean? Oh, no, that's the next one, sorry. All right, the general fund budget amendment. Do we want to do council?
Sure.
Agreed.
Okay. All right, then, next is the resolution from Jason. Do we have any questions on this? This is the secret.
You don't have to go ahead.
Do we want to do council on it?
I think you should.
Sure, I know Sean wanted it, but,
No, I think we already agreed to council.
It's on there,
council. It's on the agenda.
oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Any questions on it, comments? Okay. We do have executive personnel of a particular person. All right, I'm gonna make a motion to go into executive session to discuss personnel of a particular person. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Madam President.
Second by Mrs. Cameron. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Jim, we're in executive at 6:05.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna put everybody in that are in the meeting on waiting room.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys can stay here.
But I,
In the waiting room?
Yes.
You know, that will around the room and then we'll call it there, okay?
Okay, Jenna, everyone's in from the waiting room, is in the meeting?
Welcome back. Next, we're gonna go around the room. Mr. Newman,
I have nothing. Madam President. Thank you.
Ms. Cameron,
Just wanted to let everybody know that the LDC did not have their meeting today. They have rescheduled it. It will be should be the 27th, right? No, the 20th
about October.
of October at 5 o'clock here at City Hall. That's all I have.
Sean, or Mr. Armstrong, sorry.
It's okay. The only thing really a topic of discussion, I don't think it's too early to really kind of suggest it is just ideas in regards to Halloween. I think there was consideration that it was going to be canceled on the governor's side. We talked about it briefly, and apparently it's not. But I just didn't know if anybody had suggestions, if the mayor had any kind of intentions as of yet. As much as I said I'd love it to go on, I actually just got a message while we're sitting here from one of my neighbors, just in anticipation of how many people tend to show up in my neighborhood, as opposed to other neighborhoods, and just concerned about the social distancing and the groups of people together. Nobody really wants to stop it, but I just don't know if there's any ways to possibly limit it or limit the times. Possibly a suggestion that was out there if you have any other ideas.
Right, so as it stands right now, following to happen, and with it being on a weekend, it's kind of tough to kind of limit the hours. I was gonna go with thinking of hybrid during the weekend, kind of in a wait and see mode with what happens with COVID before I make like an official decision. But, and as far as the mass of people you get in Elmwood Park, I don't think there's any way, we can really control that. And not to suggest that more people should show up, but because of the amount of volume of people that are there, I think it would be a good idea to keep the road closed because they're going to come whether the road is closed or not. So I would rather it be a safe environment, for the kids. And I'm going to stress the point of, masks. Ensure everybody's wearing a mask. And, if you can, I've seen some things on Pinterest where there's those PVC tubes where they can drop the candy in and kind of deliver it right to the basket. I would applaud anybody who came up with a ingenious method to, deliver candy safely to the kids. But
About the claw.
oh, that'll work. Hair spray, or Aquanet hair spray. So, but like I said, I am, as of right now, I'm planning to allow Halloween to happen and for it to be 3 hours.
Understand. Would it, I guess, would it be unreasonable if it is barricaded in there, our auxiliary police there to control the crowd or make people who wait?
Well,
Again,
yeah.
you don't want to keep people out.
Right.
I've always said, and I've always welcomed the kids in my neighborhood. I think it's a great thing. But again, my concern is with people crowding. If there is auxiliary police there, is it reasonable to consider maybe kind of staggering people in or have them maybe take a little more control, crowd control, or is that not necessarily their function?
I was going to suggest that Dave, reach out to the chief, both chiefs,
Sure.
reach out to the fire chief and have a discussion on it. It's not too early to start that. So we have a game plan.
Sure. Maybe it'd be an idea to bring them in.
Bring them in,
next
yeah,
week.
the next,
Kind of maybe throw it out there if they have any other ideas too.
that's not a bad
Yeah,
idea.
I don't want to undermine anybody or anybody else's decision. But again,
Yeah,
as much as I love the people that come to our neighborhood on a regular basis, I just think.
Well, you do that when you buy your house.
What's up?
You do that when you buy your house.
I did, and I welcomed it. The 2 boxes of full-size candy bars didn't go very far. But like I said, over the years, it has gotten bigger. I've contributed that with some discussions about keeping it safer by blocking the street. But with that, I've taken a little pushback from some of the neighbors as well. So, and it's always been 50-50. Half of them relish in the amount of people, and then half the neighborhood kind of hates you that way too.
So takeaways, if we can have, Chief Stewart and Chief Strasburg at our next meeting, 15-minute discussion about Halloween and.
To touch on that, what about trunk or treat? That's
Well,
another
that's-
big one,
But that's also Parks and Rec sponsored.
right? Yeah, which I don't think we're gonna do.
Exactly. I don't know if that was intended. I haven't seen anything on it.
And I
I would
think,
suggest it's 15.
yeah, I don't think that they're
If you
doing that
want
either.
here or Zoom, or it doesn't matter.
It doesn't, whatever their preference is. They're invited via Zoom or in person.
Sure.
Doesn't, whatever they prefer.
And to Don's question as well, the trunk or treat that normally goes there, I assume that's not.
That's not gonna happen.
What is that?
The
The trunk or treat,
But the other
Yeah.
consideration is the amount, the voters do normally come out there and give stuff out too. Just as an afterthought too, to think
Right.
about the number of people that might be coming out.
Yeah, no trunk or treat, no potted harbor.
Right.
None of that. So, unfortunately.
And that's all I really have. Thank you.
Mr. Meadow?
I do not have anything to report.
The only thing I had was, the mayor will submit his budget to the council on October 1st. My thought process was we take a week, digest it. I originally proposed meeting every Tuesday, but, if you want to take some time, take a week to digest it, and then, we can schedule some time to meet with, the mayor, Bill, and we can work out a timeline of bringing in the department heads. And kind of going from there. Is everybody good with that plan?
Yep.
Bill, did you have anything for us?
I don't at the moment, but if anything comes up where you have a question, just ask me that.
All right, then, I'd like to bring up Mr. Kakanis from the Tonawanda Housing Authority. Yes, please. It's your name.
Probably take a few minutes, John, bring you up to speed on, we did present the last fiscal audit to the council, and just kind of talk through a couple of bullet points that I had with the ongoing process with the housing authority, kind of bring you up to speed. Answer any questions you might have regarding our ongoing operations. We did finish for the third year in a row in the black, as they say, or with income, which again, when I took over, 48 months ago, we had to kind of do some things, get some things back on track. One of which was created income from where there was a deficit. Generating some income is off to start putting money back into our reserve account and our operating account. We did pass through a change in rent that was effective January 1 of 2020. So we really didn't see much of an impact to our fiscal close because of the fact that we'll get 3 months of that change in income. So I do anticipate this fiscal year, which began for us April 1 of 2020, to be a little bit healthier as well. I'll reserve my COVID comments for the end on that as well, because I do have a couple things to talk about regarding COVID. Again, we did put $31,000 back into our operating budget. In the letter and the information again from our auditing firm, there is a notation about the $40,000. It's going to be in there. We know about that. Everybody knows about that. Until there's some other resolution to that via the state of New York, it's going to remain there, but it's always called out. We are about to undergo what's known as an IPNA, or physical needs analysis. We were given a grant by the state of New York for about $98,000. What we'll be doing is doing a complete assessment of the entire property, every building, every.
I think we should find something fun to do.
I don't know, watch the sea.
Jim, could you please mute the the phone, the lines?
Got it, thank you.
Those two?
Okay. We'll be doing a complete assessment, meaning interiors, exteriors, sewer, water, and a hazard assessment. So we will be doing radon, lead, all those kinds of things will be done. It's going to be probably a 6-month process. We'll be signing some contracts very shortly and getting started pretty quickly. We were given that money, we were on a grant from the state of New York to get that done. It will also allow us to put together a 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, and beyond plan, which never existed, quite frankly, for the housing authority. So we'll be taking that on pretty quickly here. Our current vacancy rate right now is less than 5%, meaning that is the state goal, just so you're aware. We continually make improvements, try to make improvements on that and stick with that 5%. 33 out of the last 36 months, we've hit that 5%. Again, it was one of the primary focuses when I took over, to look at that as well as the number of apartments that are available to rent. As of today, there are only 5 apartments left vacant. 3 of those are in the hands of contractors or painters, and 2 of those are senior units that will be ready probably this week. So when I took over, there's about 40 units left sitting. Don't know why, don't understand why, no one understood why. So we're making progress each and every day. Even with the restrictions of COVID, we've been able to get some things done. We have been operating with a closed lobby to keep distance, but we are in the lobby, in our office every day, available via phone contact. Also, we installed some microphones outside the building with cameras. People can talk to us directly, things of that nature. We have been only doing emergency service work, but we have in the last 30 days started to do interior work. But we make sure that we, number one, give out masks, social distance, and we ask some COVID questions whether or not anybody has been affected by COVID-19 prior to us entering the department. That is a recent change for us. All of our performance metrics, in case you ever want to know what they are, or someone ever asks you about them, you can always go to our website. We update our website every 30 days with wait lists, availability, links to the city, anything we can do, we try to tie it back to our website, and we put our website information on everything we send out. And that's basically it for that information, but I want to talk specifically about some of the COVID information. Income has been relatively stable through this whole thing until August. Really, our income, which is derived only from rent, you may or may not know, I mean, we don't have alternate funding. We don't get money from the federal government or the state government to run our operations. That's just the way that we're set up. Being non-HUD, we can't access things like CARES, other ways to fill in for where income is missing. Luckily, the tenants have really stayed the course and paid their rent, And I think that's primarily driven by stimulus money and unemployment, I don't want to call it a bonus, because it's really not a bonus, supplemental unemployment number that they were getting. That ended August 1st. We started to see a dip in August, and we hope to see some recovery this week or next when the state starts to roll out that supplement. The one other concerning factor for us that I was going to share with you tonight is that right now there are 10 tenants that are more than $1,000 in arrears. We are still under the moratorium for evictions, federal and state. But what we've done is to continue to monitor those folks in particular, and then provide to them just as much information as we can about federal, state, local, social organizations that can help them fill in that hole for rent. I don't know whether or not they ever contact those places. I really won't know, only in the case of if they pay the rent. So we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to provide information to them. But of those 10, unless there's going to be some federal or state program that's going to come along, not only for renters, but people with mortgage issues, those are the folks that have potential issues being truly impacted by it. So, we continue to monitor those folks. We also, like I said, we help connect them to social organizations like churches and things of that nature that might be able to help them with their arrears. But again, we can only provide the information, we can't make them do that. That's all I have, please.
Yeah, I have a question, and I just wanted to make a quick comment first. I think you've been doing a great job, Dale, and I've let you know in our various meetings how I feel about the job you're doing there. So my hat's off.
But you know, it's a team of people. I mean, we were lucky enough to be able to replace a team of people. And that's how it works.
Yeah, you got yourself a great team working for you. Quite a number of years ago, there was a ongoing mold issue at the housing authority. Is the assessment also going to test for mold?
It will assess everything from mold, lead paint, all of that stuff will be conducted. Inside the apartment, crawl spaces, it is an incredibly thorough, not only assessment of the infrastructure and the structures, but really about almost a third of that cost is the hazard assessment piece. Checking grounds around it, things of that nature, things that have really truly never been done.
No, that's good to know. Because like
Yep.
There was a huge mold issue
Yep.
at housing authority back in.
Yeah, I was brought up to speed on that along the way.
Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that you're doing it. So thank you.
Sure.
Question, I echo the same sentiments. I mean, I remember during one meeting, I think prior to the vacancy was 20%. So hats off to you and your team in getting that less than 5%. I know a lot of hard work went into that, so thank you for doing that. When do you anticipate the assessment would start and would be completed by?
The IPNA,
Yes.
hopefully we're going to start it within the next 90 days.
Okay. Will a notice go out to the tenants?
Absolutely. 30-day prior notifications are required by the state. So we will have, and when I send something to them like that, I'll send something along to you as well, so you have it. So that you'll know what's going on in case you get questions.
And then how long do you anticipate that assessment will take?
I'm told by the folks who do these things, the contract that we signed, they said within about 90 days is typically what it would take, 90 days to go into all these apartments, assess them all, get the results back, be able to put a report together, and provide it to us. They did give me the little COVID clause that says this could take an additional 30 days based on the tenant's ability, whether they've been affected by the pandemic, health-wise, things of that nature. It could delay a little bit longer.
we'll do it.
I'd like to get it completely wrapped up by the end of my fiscal year, which is March 30th.
Will the report be public?
Yes, it is a public report.
So once you get that, you'll share that with us?
Absolutely.
And then my other question is, I know at our last council meeting, we really drove home about the importance of the census.
Yes.
What have you done, what efforts have you done to make sure that every person counts without?
Well, as you may remember, I was part and parcel with Jim going to the meetings in North Carolina.
Right.
We put out census information at least once a month to every mailbox, to a point where some tenant said, I don't understand, is this, you know, at least we got a phone call, because the concern has always been, is this big government trying to do something, right? So we put it in every newsletter, answer some frequently asked questions about why this is good, why we need to do this. I can also tell you in the last 2 to 3 weeks, there has had to have been no less than 10 census takers on the property. Going door to door, a ton of activity. So not only do we put it in our newsletters, our quarterly newsletters, but there were separate, 3 or 4 separate not mailings, we put them in the mailboxes, just reminding people to participate in the census. Anytime I got something from the census group, you make copies of it, put it out in the mailbox.
You're confident that every effort has been made to make sure that we've counted every individual?
I think we've done a lot. I can't say that everything, but I think we've done a heck of a lot to try and make sure there's an awareness and to try and take down any barriers that folks might have about participating.
We do anticipate that we'll get an updated list of, percentage sometime next week, so maybe we can coordinate efforts and see what we can do.
Yeah, but any information that I can get, because I've received nothing so far. Anything, just let me know, and I'll continue to do whatever you can.
I can make sure that you're included on the email that we get.
Thank you.
The other thing is pre-COVID, we had a great meeting. We talked about the $40,000. I know we met with our city treasurer, the mayor, myself.
Yep.
I'd really like to get back to the table and talk about that.
I think we need to.
Yeah, so just stand by for an email and we'll see what everybody's availability is, so we can have that discussion and
Sounds good.
move forward and kind of get that off our plate.
I'd love to get it off our works too, just,
And, I do appreciate everything you do, coming and talking to us and everything you do for the housing authority.
Well, thank you. Like I said, the city's been fantastic. Like I said, I chose to live here my whole life, and I know why. It's just that way. If I need questions, concerns, I even was running into problems trying to set up my virtual meetings. I reached out to Sean, and at least get a little bit of conversation, and I finally did get my stuff kind of going. But the fire department responded to a fire we had. They were fantastic. I mean, the fire department, police department, DPW, everybody here at City Hall. If I've needed something, I've gotten answers, and I really do appreciate that, because again, I always think of it, I'm not the smartest guy in the room, and I need help wherever possible. And the fact of the matter is, the city that I call my home, those are absolutely helping out, answering questions, getting stuff done, and I appreciate that.
Awesome. Anybody else have any questions, comments? Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dale.
Thanks, Cal.
Hey, you know what I forgot to ask you? Do you have an update on mobile?
I'm still waiting to hear back from them.
Okay.
I would imagine our next meeting would get into that.
Okay, awesome. And then any handouts I gave you, just.
Yep, he hasn't sent anything yet, so.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else before take a break? All right, then let's take a little break before we officially go our.
Other functions. Around that wall.
Yeah.
Crazy.
All right. Please call the City County Council to order. Please call the roll.
Newman,
Here.
Cameron,
Here.
Rautenstrau,
Here.
Mylum,
Here.
Cook.
Here, please stand for the pledge. Pledge allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please stand. This prayer has been provided to us by Associate Chaplain Tim Newman. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this great nation and the community that we live in. Thank you for our freedom and those who protect it. We ask your protecting hand on our police officers and firefighters and other city workers. We ask that you guide our community and our leaders in the direction you want us to go. Give wisdom to our mayor and council so they can make wise decisions to make our community a place of safety and prosperity. Oversee our public meetings and activities and may we glorify you, Lord, and you alone in all that we do and say. In your name, we pray. Amen. If you could please stand, I'd like to have a moment of silence in memory of Richard Sliz, who served as New York County legislator and as a third ward council member in the city of Tonawanda. Please keep in your thoughts and prayers his family. Thank you. Communications from the mayor have been ordered and filed. Communications from city officials and correspondence have also been ordered and filed. We are not going into executive session. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public on the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, there is an option for you to raise your hand if you'd like to make a comment or ask a question on the resolutions. Anyone who's joining us may also do so at this time. No comments from those in attendance. City Clerk, do you have anyone in our who's joining us virtually who wishes to make a comment?
I have no indication of any comments by anybody on the call.
Let's call any comments or questions on the resolutions. All right, let's roll.
Okay, resolution number 1 by Councilman Mylum.
Do you have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Newman. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 2 by Councilmember Mylum.
Do we have a second? I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 3 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
I'll second. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 4 by Councilmember Newman.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Mylum. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Cameron,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 5 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Mrs. Cameron. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Nay.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 6 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
Aye, declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 7 by Councilmember Rautenstrau.
Do we have a second?
I'll take it, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Nyland. Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 8 by council, by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted.
Resolution number 9 by the council, seconded by the council.
Comments or questions? Please call the roll.
Newman,
Aye.
Hammerdiner,
Aye.
Rautenstrau,
Aye.
Mylum,
Aye.
Cook.
I declare the resolution adopted. At this time, we'll now take comments by the public following the resolutions. For those that are joining us virtually, if you wish to address the council, there is a raise your hand feature. Please do so at this time. Anyone in attendance wishing to address the council can also do so. Mr. Clerk, do you have anybody who wishes to address the council?
I do not have any comments.
Let's call. Anyone in attendance? Mr. Newman.
I have nothing to report, Madam President. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Ms. Cameron.
I have nothing to report.
Thank you, Ms. Cameron. Mr. Rostrow.
I would like to mention a couple things. One, I started out prior to the meeting and attended the treasurer group's meeting. Our treasurer Bill Reese has kind of started a little bit of a community outreach to get an involvement of people to understand and learn about how the budget works, how it goes, to get some input and outreach on involvement and to talk about a 5-year plan. Kind of on some things that were based on the audit and suggested by the state controller's office. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a really unique idea for Bill to be able to explain it to people. I think he does a great job kind of bringing it down to a layman's level to make the average person understand it. And I just kind of suggest anybody that's interested or wants to have a say in this over the next few years and have an understanding to maybe reach out to the treasurer, to reach out to the council. The treasurer has made a Facebook page. It's out on social media. I just think it's a great idea for more people to be involved and understand how it works and what it affects on our day to day. The second comment, I just kind of want to piggyback on an earlier conversation with the council and with the mayor on Halloween. It's coming up in a few weeks. It sneaks up on us in this time of COVID and social distancing. We want to look at different ideas. My own neighborhood gets attended by a lot of people. And often over many years, I hear from a lot of the neighborhoods and a lot of the residents that why is everybody going to Elmwood Park? I just want to suggest now to other neighbors and other residents in the city, especially at this time, please peel some of them away from me. I think it's a great opportunity to reach out to your neighbors, find out who the kids are, to make it more acceptable to them and kind of keep it socially distant. In that vein too, I also want to reach out to any of my neighbors and residents. I want to reach out as I see on the streets, maybe I'll make a Facebook post, but if you see this as well, please know I'm concerned. I'm cognizant of the idea that we do face up to 1,000 people in our neighborhood. And in this time, it might be a little too much as we do welcome it and enjoy it. But please reach out to myself, to the council members, and kind of give us your opinion. We did discuss that the we would like to welcome in the chief of police and chief of fire to kind of come in and maybe have some suggestions on how we can mitigate this, contain it a little bit better this year, especially when it comes to that concentrated area. I think that's all I had to say. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Armstrong, Mr. Nyland?
Just very briefly, I would like to congratulate the City of Tonawanda School District on their successful opening last week. It was a huge undertaking to make sure that the kids are safe, and they also had an option for those to stay at home. The success of school opening was a testament to the huge collaboration between the administration, the teachers, parents, the community, kids. Having been in the schools, I always say Tonawanda is one of the best districts in Western New York. And after seeing the way that they pulled this off the last week or so, it's, that thought is truly confirmed. So congratulations to them. Congratulations on keeping the kids safe. It was a little bit eerie being there today and having it so quiet in the hallways. So hopefully this plan doesn't, kids aren't away from school for very much longer. But what Tonawanda City School District has done has been remarkable, and I'd like to commend them. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mr. Nyland. Mayor? Yes.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd like to just extend my condolences to the Slip family. I know served a lot of years in public service, and my thoughts and prayers are with them. This morning I had the unfortunate case of driving by the motorcycle accident that was on the 290, and really kind of put things into perspective to see what I saw, and my thoughts and prayers go out to not only the family of the motorcyclists, but the other vehicles involved in the accident. Their lives are going to change forever too. So, a few weeks back, I took a step, and I got myself off of all of the City of Tonawanda community pages on Facebook. And I didn't like some of the things that I was seeing on those sites, and it really disheartened me. And I'll be the first to admit, I've gotten caught up in the rhetoric of this election as well. But I think people need to kind of take a step back. You're not going to, arguing with a total stranger on social media, you're not going to change this. You're not going to change probably anyone's social media. And maybe focus on the things that, like your family and your friends, that deserve your attention, instead of mindlessly sitting on social media and arguing with people, because much like that motorcyclist, tomorrow's never guaranteed. And ask everyone maybe just take it and get on with living as much as we can, during this pandemic. And prayers go out to the Gulf Coast and West Coast. It seems like this year it just doesn't stop. And we just passed peak hurricane season, and we're just starting fire season in the West. So unfortunately, these two phenomena are adding misery to an already strenuous year for people. And I didn't want to end on a sad note. a lot of my comments tonight that I'm kind of expressing. The Army Corps of Engineers has announced that they completed their work at the use wrap area and will be turning that area over to Department of Energy for legacy care moving forward. And this could not have been a more perfect example of community involvement with local and county and state and federal government officials coming together for one common cause, and that was to clean up an area that the federal government first said that there was no contamination. And then they said, well, there's contamination, but it's not. And then they said, well, there's contamination, and it might be ours, but it's safe, as long as you don't spend more than 15 minutes on the rig. And then to get to the point where, you know, it was cleaned up, it might not be cleaned up to the standards that we wanted, but, you know, for the next 1,000 years, it's an area that we don't have to worry about. So, that's my piece, one piece of good news. So, stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. For those that visit City Hall, there is a new drop box right as you enter. Feel free to utilize that. They check that regularly, so feel free to use that. Sits over the clerk's office, or you also have the drop box outside that is still functioning, but in addition, we have the drop box inside as well. I want to thank the the City of Tonawanda Fire Department for organizing the annual September 11th memorial. They had a chance to attend the memorial service in the evening. And I want to thank the community who attended both sessions, the one in the morning and the one in the evening. It's certainly well attended, and we will certainly never forget where we were, what we were doing on September 11th of 2001. It would be remiss if I didn't mention the tax cap resolution that was on our agenda tonight. That is a lengthy process. I do commend Councilmember Newman for his stance in voting against that. I understand where he was with the thought process as well. The reality is that the mayor will be presenting his budget, or city's operating budget, on October 1st. And that is our opportunity to review that and make proposed amendments. As I always said, you know, that's the meat and the potatoes of what we do. And I know every person that's sitting up here is focused on doing what we can to keep that as low as we possibly can. I had an opportunity to talk to a colleague in another municipality, and he asked where we were in the process of adopting the tax cap. I told him we were in the final phases, and he had shared with me that when they receive their budget, it's not going to be a pretty sight. So I do commend this council for being proactive and taking the necessary steps to get where we are. But this resolution is certainly not, it's not the be all end all. It doesn't necessarily mean that we will exceed the tax cap. However, I am a realist, and the tax cap by the comptroller is 1.5%. Given the climate that we're at, it would result in significant and drastic layoffs and reductions. So those are conversations that the council, the mayor, our city treasurer will be having in October. I am proposing to the council that we consider appointing a budget committee similar to what we did a few years back. I think it would be very healthy to engage our residents and invite them to be participants of this process so that they can also see where we are and where we're headed. So I do look forward to, I know it's cliche, but I do look forward to receiving the mayor's budget so we can get to work on that. And I would certainly be remiss if I didn't, make mention to Richard Sliz and the legacy that he has had within our county and certainly within our city. I was proud to call him a friend. I was very sad to see that he had passed away. And he just did a remarkable job for this city. I spoke to him back in January, and it was just nice to hear his voice. So certainly I would like to close tonight's meeting and just ask that everybody keep your thoughts and prayers the family of Richard Sliz, and thank you for all you did for our county and for our city. With that said, I would like to make a motion to adjourn in Mr. Sliz's memory. Do I have a second?
I'll second, Madam President.
Second by Mr. Rothschild, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, good night.
Thank you for joining the meeting. We're gonna be ending the meeting in a moment. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Stay safe.
You guys too.
Yeah.